Ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us and you're wondering why it's going light and then dark in Ryan Bowen's front room, poltergeist. We like to keep this show entertaining, and our latest investment in that is getting a ghost, a real live ghost. What's going on, Ryan? Seriously, what is going on?
Oh, it's the ghost of Todd Hutchings after I've just bet on Lachlan and Todd.
It's a ghost of Todd Hutchings past.
Yeah. Oh, what a place to start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix. With myself, the fat lad, Neil Pickup, in the mother fluffing house. And I'm joined by Raimonds Liepins, all the way from Latvia, ladies and gentlemen, with his quarantine haircut and massive right arm. I'm also joined by the evergreen, t-shirted, Mr. Ryan Bowen. Look at that, eh? He's worked that lighting well. You've got to give him that, haven't you?
Yeah, that looks sick. Sick!
Now then, Dateline check. Ladies and gentlemen, Dateline check. The Fix episode 11 went out today, and we're just waiting for the feedback, because Ryan Bowen...
It's calm before the storm.
Yeah, before the storm, because it's public. Ryan Bowen has gone out on record as saying that another Aussie puller, the lovely Mr. Lachlan and Todd, would smack the out of Todzilla Todd Hutchings for $500 cash. Aussie dollars, that's worth about £5 in any other country. So I'll be able to buy
a beer, maybe one beer.
A new front tyre for my lad's bike. Something like that. That's about it, you know. Due to the exchange rate.
I'm just glad that Raimonds backed me up on that. Like, Raimonds, you are my protection to this. Anytime someone says, you're an idiot, right, I'm going to say, hey, Coach Ray said...
can I take it now back? Can I take it back now?
Anybody out there who thought that Raimonds doesn't get all the pussy, I think we can say that he clearly does. Yeah. One just jumped across his back. Anyway, yeah, I'm still in shock, mate. I've got to be honest with you, that Raimonds even jumped in there. I mean, I don't know how much you paid him beforehand. I noticed he's got his pound-for-pound shirt on. There's something seriously deviant.
Yeah, it's clearly a pretty outlandish statement when you put them on paper in what they have achieved in the sport. It's obvious. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
But it just comes, okay, then there's some Australian bias. We all know that I have only a little bit of that. But I really just think that when we talk about styles making matches, Lachlan is the worst that Todd could face. I think Lachlan's I think if Todd's wrist ended up anywhere slightly kinked back, anywhere, he wouldn't be able to do what he could do to a taller guy. Lachlan's short enough that if Lachlan top rolled like a Giannis Hamlin style, got one of them on Todd, I don't think Todd in a flat wristed position could ever pull through Lachlan's bicep.
I'm just not seeing that though.
Yeah, I think
I'm all about style, mate.
If it went deep hook, we're 50-50. If Lachlan pops the wrist back and Todd's like that, it's all Lachlan.
Why?
He's that strong. He's phenomenal.
Stronger than Marcio Barboza in that position. Stronger than Barboza when he's kinked up.
Shorter, more compact arm than Marcio. That's why. Marcio has to open up. Marcio's arm doesn't really get tight. Lachlan's gets tight. He's right here. So if Lachlan's right here, shorter arm with the bicep power he's got, I think Marcio would smack Lachlan a dare, but I think Todd would struggle.
Well, I guess we find out. Oh, let's just, I've had a few.
I want to say.
Get into
the Lachlan that we saw that you were facing, he would lose to Todd. Yeah, the Lachlan that was in my mind with the fresh, when he doesn't lose the start, doesn't lose pronator, if there's no chance of him catching Todzilla, from this position and then just taking him back. He's a beast from that position. So I will say I was more surprised that he was so slow than you were fast. I know you are fast. I know you can hit in different positions. That's good. But I was very surprised that basically he was just like all the time Yeah, maybe I know he was tired a little bit from training and everything because he didn't take no time off and everything. But still. Yeah, I expected a little bit more. I will be honest with that one.
Well, the match with Lachlan and myself, the whole purpose of that was to, I have a very vested interest in helping Lachlan to become the best arm wrestler he can be. And I know very clearly that he's stronger than me. Any degree of slow pulling, he's way, way, way beyond me. But Lachlan was developing a lack of awareness that he needed to be ready for guys that can start. And I knew that I could provide that to him in a ready go. So I identified for him, and he wouldn't have ever believed it unless we had a ready go, that I could do what I did to him. That's why I say people like Marcio would smack him, because I know Marcio can do what I was doing on a technical level, and Marcio's a hell of a lot stronger than me. So Lachlan would have nothing on someone like Marcio. But I don't believe Todd could execute the sort of start that I executed there. So I still firmly believe that Lachlan's game is suited to face Todd. Todd will admit he's slow. Todd is slow. And Lachlan isn't slow.
Todd is slow.
Yeah, Lachlan's not slow. Lachlan's just not as fast as I am. But, yeah.
No, I think if the matchup would happen, that would be interesting. And yeah, Lachlan, I know he's getting much stronger, much better, much tighter, improving every time. And when you take these, for, 3 months, no competition, for him even more, since Lottie, no competition, no ready go, nothing's online, and then you take it and it's a different realm. We did this previous week when we just came to the practice, 14, 15 people there, and Jan says, we will do competition left and right arm. We'll do super matches, competition, and everyone's just doing it. And then, you can arm wrestle in a practice, it's fine, but when it's a ready go, my arms haven't hurt for 3 months, and next day I'm I cannot do anything, because it's go gives that extra edge, that extra, awareness, that extra motivation for everyone, not just for you, for everyone. So I think it's good for Lachlan to have that match with you, and I enjoyed watching, and I watched it. We talked with Janis about it and analyzed it, and guess that was a good one for both of you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
See, I'm a little bit less bowed by the whole you pulling Lachlan thing for one reason, because you know Lachlan inside out, and Lachlan knows you inside out. So for me, whenever you get two training partners, it's the same as you and Jordan Davis. I mean this with the greatest respect to Jordan, because he's serious, but I think you would rate Jordan as a bigger threat than a lot of other pullers would rate him, because, and there's evidence of that in looking at who he's arm wrestled and who's he's beat. And even if you say, okay, look, I know we talked about Patrick Berg on a show, and he said, yeah, but he had Patrick Berg and that, but it was really close. Either way you look at it, him and Patrick were a nip and tuck. Now, if you'd have said, do you think Ryan will beat Patrick Berg, I'd have gone, yeah, I do. And again, I think when you train with a guy, I used to train with a fella called Andy Barker. And Andy Barker was very, very versed in what I did, how I pulled, knew how I pulled. And he was a very long levered ranger guy, and I've been training him since a kid, and he was rock strong. He got really, he ended up second in the world a couple of times. But I would always think, Andy's iron. He can beat everyone, and yet he'd still struggle with guys that I could beat pretty comfortably. At that time. And it's,
they know you.
It's a strange dynamic, It's a strange dynamic. But before I lose track and we get off topic too far, whoa.
Here we go.
Hey, what the you talking about with this, the Lachlan that I saw pull you? What's that all about? Because the bet we're making here is the Lachlan that pulled Ryan. Don't be giving me some Lachlan version 2026 and that match is still alive. That's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
Todd Hutchings is 53 years old, and everybody knows that means he'll be dead in a bit.
Man.
I don't know though, because Engin got to, what's Engin, 400, but Engin's special. Outside Engin, People can't live that long. Apart from Pascal Girard, who also
600
the whole 600 plus years old.
At least
that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, Todd, normal human man. How long's he going to live? So don't start with that, Lachlan in 20 years and this match is still running. That is not the case. We're talking about the Lachlan now.
No.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still sticking with Lachlan. Yeah. I believe in him. Yeah.
I never had you down as a guy that sniffed glue. I just, always seem...
It's fun.
Ah,
A level guy up to now. Stay away from
It's boring in Latvia.
The other reality is like we said, I don't know what the circumstances are that would lead to Lachlan facing Todd. I think he doesn't ever get Todd as a WAL opener because Todd is genuinely mid-pack, and Lachlan's entry. So Lachlan would need to prove that he can climb up to Todd first and foremost. And how he does that, I don't know. First round, someone of the caliber of the Chris Chandlers, the Tom Nelsons, the Ian Gripplers, the whatever. Those guys as the entry levels. And then if he gets a win on a Ron Barth or a Matt Mask or a Marcio, then he can talk about Todd.
Why do you need WL?
I was just saying, given that that's where Todd pulls, but yeah, look, if I don't know what Todd's contracts are like, but if they just pulled in a garage for $5,000, I think it'd be great. But I don't know. I could probably make that happen. But
I thought you already did. I'm sitting here like I thought this was happening.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be like a reasonably close to now match, like at some point quite close, and in a real, not in a. I mean, that is actually genuinely one hurdle, and to sort of fill everybody in. This is quite weird because of this dateline check thing. When we did that show, Ryan and Lachlan has not arm wrestled. That's a fact. They hadn't pulled. They were gonna pull like the next day.
That was the funny thing was that I was on one hand saying that Lachlan can beat Todd, yet I was saying that I may yet beat Lachlan tomorrow night. And that's how much I really believe in styles make matches. I just know that Todd doesn't have the.
I am 100% that guy, Ryan. The styles make matches thing I'm on board with. But styles make matches within a level, and I genuinely, let me make this clear, I really like Lachlan Adair. Like, no joke. I really, really like that dude. He's a good dude. Very, very nice guy. I get him. And I actually spoke to Lachlan, how long after your match with him? We were on the phone.
20 minutes after.
20 minutes after the match, and we had a long chat through, and I tried to give him advice which would actually help him, not specifically to beat Todd Hutchings, but to be fair, it would assist him with Todd Hutchings or anyone generally. Just things that could help sharpen his game up. But right now, I genuinely do feel that Todd Hutchings, I don't even know whether you're aware of just how strong Todd is, mate. Like, competition Todd is, I don't know whether you know how strong that.
But I guess the only time I've gripped competition Todd was in Moldova in the pub afterwards.
I'm going to say that.
I think
competition.
I'm just saying I think the Moldova version that I gripped was probably better than the version that came to Australia. The version that came to Australia, he was tired. He'd recently separated. There were lots of factors. Travel. He was 100 kilos. In Moldova, he was
fresh off a match as well. Who he pulled?
He Krasny, he beat Sasho in Moldova, and then me sitting there in the restaurant with him with John Brzenk Travis, and I said, "Come on, Todd, I want to feel this," and he did giggle at me, but I was able to I could feel what Todd was like as a human, and he, to me, yes, he has staying power. Lachlan has power. I think Lachlan can spike force higher than Todd can, but Todd will sustain for longer, I think. So they're different.
Yeah.
They're different.
I don't know on an arm wrestling table right now, mate.
Neil, did you see in my super match with Lachlan when Lachlan inevitably bent his wrist? Did you see how easy it was?
Absolute with ease. But that's with you, and I mean this with the greatest respect, that's with you, Ryan. Todd's different gravy to the different gravy guys. Todd's really, really strong. Like, when you said, oh, well, I've felt Competition John, and Competition John's like holy moment.
Yeah.
Well, the point I'm making is that Competition Todd right now probably beats Competition John right now. Very likely beats that guy. And if you speak to John Brezink and say, is the fat lad talking bollocks? He'll probably go, no, probably Todd beats me. We're talking about a big version of Todd. When Todd broke the bath, that's a strong one. When Devon Larratt folded in with him,
what is the difference?
Bicep, he got out of dodge quick.
How much? There's obviously levels in arm wrestling. We see it. We go novices. Novices are stunned by what an amateur feels like. They're stunned by what an entry-level pro feels like. And then within the pros, you've got new pro, seasoned pro, pushing for elite pro. Then you've got elite and genuine elite, and then the Brezinks and all that above all that.
This is where a lot of your styles make matches comes in. A lot of that comes in here.
How much power difference, in your opinion, is there between my level, Lachlan's level, and Todd's level? Is it how wide is it?
Okay, it's not it's not a power difference in that. This is what I was saying the last time we did this show when I was talking about the sort of when you're on a table and I'm going to do a 60 kilo back pressure. That is relatively irrelevant. I'm not saying there isn't some carryover. There's some carryover, but it's minimal. The difference in power is being able to have that power very apparent during an arm wrestling match. That's the thing. And right now, at this stage of his career, for whatever reason, Todd Hutchings puts very, very good arm wrestlers, and I don't mean one or two, the majority of very, very good arm wrestlers into horrible, terrible, dungeon-like places where they just do not want to be, and they get choked to death. And if you look at when Todd isn't able to do that, it's ordinarily somebody who's blisteringly quick. Really quick. Lightning explosivity that goes through where he is, actually through his power, at blistering speed. Lachlan's not that quick.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last match that I really saw him lose, with the exception of the Devon Larratt super match, was Alan Makiev and Evgeny Prudnik in Moldova, and they were both speed and outside that did it. Where the same day, like I said, he beat Sasha Andreev, he beat Krasimir Kostadinov in a hook in Moldova.
And I genuinely believe that was a pretty busted up version of Todd as well, because he just like a week before pulled the WL, hadn't he? I can't even remember who he pulled. Did he pull? Was it?
I think he was coming from beating
Ron.
Ron, yeah, he was coming from beating Ron.
It was either Ron or Devon. It was a big match. Could have been Devon. It was one of those two. But was it Devon?
It was 2018.
Was it? So it wasn't Devon.
No,
right, so
no.
I don't know who it was. Anyway, I can't. If that Michael Todd was on here now, Michael will tell you who it was, what day that happened, what they had for lunch that day, and the distance between nipples of both athletes. 20 minutes before that lunch. That's what we're talking about with Mike Todd.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he pulled.
I know I have a lot of belief in the system that I'm going through, and I know that, and I believe it in Lachlan too, because I see the system he's going through under Giannis, and I see his work ethic, and I feel his power, and I see Lachlan searching, and I just believe that Lachlan's on a very steep trajectory, and I think that stylistically, Todd's just a good match for him. I think Todd's the best guy on the planet that Lachlan has a chance against.
Yeah, you're thinking as an elite puller, if you were picking an elite style for him to go against on it, that'd be the dude.
Yeah,
that may be the case, mate. It may well. I just think right now there's a gulf between those two that is really significant. I mean, if you look at Todd's resume and the guys who when he comes in and he's focused and ready, he beats guys that are truly like, holy shit, guys. He beats guys like Ferit Osmanli, like Marcio Barbosa. And Marcio Barbosa is,
like I said, I think Marcio smacks Lachlan Adair real hard, real fast.
But the amount of power that it takes to beat that guy in a horrible, ugly, drawn-out position, that with your wrist sacrifice, with everything gone, the amount of power that you've got to be able to apply to the match to beat that guy, to beat Sergei Tokarev, to beat Ferit Osmanli, to drive sideways ugly when you're not in your best shape through Sasho Andreev in a relatively easy way.
Yeah, I want to see it. We need to make it happen. It can't just be talk. We gotta put this 500 on the line properly.
It's on, mate.
Yeah.
It expires in about a year's time. It's got to be like there's got to be a current version of the guy we're talking about.
Lachlan Adair over to Ohio will make it happen.
Yeah, joking aside, Lachlan Adair, if he listens to some of the stuff that's being put to him by yourself, the kind of things I was mentioning to him, if he takes that next step, he could develop massively. Has he got the potential to do a lot? Yeah, I think he's got great potential. I don't know how you know him better than anybody else in terms of how much access he's got to train. I know he's got young kids. He's not like yourself, where he's practically a professional arm wrestler. I'm sure he's working for a living day to day, so I don't know. I think that. What about you, Ray? How much access how much opportunity have you got to train to be? You're effectively a professional arm wrestler in some respects, apart from obviously all the time you got to spend with the ladies.
With some pussy.
Yeah.
It was like a thing. In January or February, and especially now during the quarantine, I was starting to think, I have spent 14 years of my life just dedicated to training. And in the time, I have developed arm wrestling in Latvia, so I'm president of federation, I have my own club, we basically do everything here, I have multiple world champions under my belt. I have done all those things, and whenever comes competition time for me, I'm so busy and out of my mind that I feel like, to be honest, like a bitch, It's in my head. I'm I have so many times when I have when we do a camp to prepare for Worlds and my guys do great, I do so bad every time. I'm training, preparing, and then it comes to competition time. I'm going right when you go on stage, you're yeah, I will do this. I have this, and back in your head, no. And at that point, I'm I want to go home. I cannot do it. So this year, the end of the year, it started with a super match with Frode. And I'm I was sitting and just thinking, and I'm reading a lot of psychology, philosophy books. And I'm I have done all this job. Why don't I really believe in myself? So this year, I was planning to dedicate myself to put me on that level. Because, whenever we're training, I'm lifting everything that Giannis is lifting, everything that Vlad is lifting, everything that Raimonds is lifting. I'm doing everything the same. But when it comes to competition, I have so much things that I cannot just take away and, be myself. And I usually do very good when I'm in a competition alone, like in Norway. In Norway, I felt like God. At that point, I look back, everything was falling when my arms started moving. I felt so good. And, that's the feeling I want to continue and keep doing. So now I'm on different trajectory. I'm a little less doubting myself. And, with time, my life is arm wrestling. I said, when we finished, Sports Academy of Science, I said, I'm going to be the first guy in Latvia that makes a living out of this. And, I really don't do anything else. I have a gym. We do training sessions. I coach my online clients. I coach my clients here. I do YouTube. I do other stuff as well, but everything is for arm wrestling. And at that point, I'm sitting, I wake up at 9:10. I will go train for 3-4 hours. Then I will go home and eat, and it's nothing else.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
Did you just say you wake up at 9 or 10?
Yeah, because I'm up until 2 or 3. Yeah.
You lazy motherfucker. So you're basically saying you don't get out of bed till 9, but 10?
Today was 10:30.
Ray, I want to ask you, Ray, I want to ask you a question that may shed some light for Neil as well. I know we've kind of moved on, but the Lachlan and Adair thing one more time. Your fellow countryman, how well do you know Gunter's Boykovs?
He was before my time. Time. Yeah,
do you know him?
I know. He's strong. He's good. He has been national champion in Latvia for heavyweights, and yeah, he's done his part. And
the rumor that you put out there was he was European champion. What year was that, Ryan? EAF European champion.
He was WF World Masters champion or European champion. One of those. He was when he moved to Australia. The first time I think you guys came to WAF. And he won that, and then, yeah.
Okay. And so Neil, of Gunter's Boykovs, Lachlan beat Gunter's when Lachlan was less than 12 months in the sport. And Gunter's is, you got to say, you got to know he was number one in Latvia. That alone shows you the power and the strength Lachlan has to put down. That in a novice level of technique, he was able to defeat Gunter's twice at our national championship.
Okay, then here we go. Well, we're talking about Ray's countrymen. Raimonds, here we go, mate. Truck Norris. Okay.
Truck Norris, yes.
Normans.
Baddest dude we have ever had.
Does he beat Lachlan Adair?
Yeah.
Why?
Much more explosive. And plus, Norman's style would be very difficult for him because Norman's is like this. He's doing very hard back pressure. You know Modris.
I pulled Norman, so I know Norman's style. I pulled him in World.
Okay, so Modris Stalgevich, he's the grandfather of our sport, and he said when an interview, we talk about who's the best, and he's like, we have tested for 20 years and we know Norman's is the strongest. So everyone who comes just keeps falling. When he's motivated, he's been world champion. He's beaten John. He's beaten Devon in some competitions. He's been around, but it's for him. He's very gifted, but he has his life. But yeah, him and Lachlan, I would still pick Normans. Normans doesn't have a good endurance. But he is so explosive, and the styles make matchups, and that would be a bad matchup. Because, doesn't matter how good Giannis is, how good Raimonds is, how good Sandris is, how good Vlad is, Normans is and everyone else is here when he comes prepared, and when he comes to beat you.
And is that, do you think, just because he's too strong?
Oh, he's too strong also. He is too strong.
Okay.
He is too strong. And he's all the time he's heavyweight, but he's all the time 110 kilos, 107, 110. That's the weight stays the same for him. For I don't know how.
Who you got, Truck Norris or Todd Zilla? We're talking about WAL match ready heavyweight Todd Zilla.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I would say versus that kind of puller, I have to go with Todd Zilla for one reason. If he stops the match, Norman doesn't have endurance. He's super explosive, and he's like a truck, Truck Norris. But that would cause problems if he wouldn't finish the match. And of course, I would say he will try to finish the match fast. But WL, you can get in. Todzilla can have him like this, and that he would struggle. But he's very, very powerful anyway. Styles make matches, and athletes make matches also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting feedback. Because I think, to me, I agree that Normans is the strongest of the Latvians that I've ever encountered.
Nothing's changed. 20 years, nothing changed. He's, yeah. Give him motivation, he will come back. He lost to Sandris in Zloty Tour. He came back destroyed. Nothing. What else? Vladislav was going up, beating Sandris. We do a super match. He destroys him. So, it's he's a hard man to beat, but he has his problems. We know, like, if it's a super match and the guys are, for him, the bigger problem always would be top roll guys. Good top roll guys or deep hook guys. Anything in between would be like, okay, he can deal with it better. But yeah.
Chris Chandler.
Oh, he would smack him around.
Okay, yeah. Chris Chandler, Lachlan Adair.
I don't know that much how good Chris Chandler right now is. I know he has huge biceps. He looks like a bodybuilder. That's all I know. I know Lachlan looks like a bodybuilder, but he's an arm wrestler. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Lachlan beats Chris. I think Lachlan is the Lachlan of 8 months ago. I think balanced. The Lachlan now has developed much more back pressure. I think Chris would expect Lachlan to just hook him and come in and be a deep hook rotation battle. Lachlan wouldn't do that. Lachlan would act like Giannis. He'd just be a big version of Giannis and just keep Chris away from the hook.
I think we need to, like, when all this is over, the competition should explode. We should, like, all this talk, it doesn't make any sense without competition, and we will get competitions. Pack the classes, like most stack classes, most stack competitions ever, and let's see who is the man. Right now it's just speculation. Like, I haven't seen Chandler arm wrestling for, I don't know, a year. Like, maybe he has been arm wrestling, but I haven't been following, so I have no actual input on most of these. And everything is like, he said, she said, So, let's get competition rolling. I can't wait. I'm like, this is already too much boredom.
So Levan Saganashvili, guys, coming on. Did you watch that on neutral ground?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you see that, right?
Is there already a video out? I saw the.
It's out. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
That's the translator right there, mother fluffer.
Yeah, we did 2 parts. First of all, Levan is such a teddy bear. He's like talking like I know him. I know him for years, and we have talked. I know he looks like a brute. He looks like, he smack you on the head and get him to your cave, But he is very educated, very smart guy, very dedicated, and the interview really showed like what he wants to do, like what he wants to leave his legacy, because he believes he needs to beat few guys, and then and I believe he after he finishes that job he will retire. I believe he will, and if he's capable of doing what he wants to do, that would be amazing legacy. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I'll have to go watch that for sure. I didn't know that it was already out. So.
Yeah, and he's coming on in the presence of greatness on the episode we're going to be recording on the 7th of June, with Travis Bagent on the show, Devin Larratt probably on the show, Michael Todd on the show.
Wow. Okay.
Whatever could go wrong?
Although, I think, I don't even know. Travis might be a little quieter than he normally is. I don't know.
I'm not sure that's going to be the case. You never do know.
I will tell you a secret, guys. Dennis Tiplenko soon. Yeah.
Who wins that match in your opinion then?
No.
Match, Dennis. He's coming on neutral ground, isn't he? Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to talk with Dennis and then see where he's at. Because I believe he wouldn't take that match if he didn't feel like he would be able to be 100%. Yeah. Like, that's a big match. That could be the biggest match ever. Huge match. Both of them, like the how they progressed under Paul Banner. Amazing, Both
men favor the left.
Yeah. Almost.
That was the thing that used to piss me off a little bit about the whole, we waited so long for Devin Larratt to pull. Never really seen it. It's a left-hand match. And I mean this with the greatest, respect to all people involved. Night and day, right and left for Devin.
Yeah, but it's because he beat Andre, I think it was because he beat Andre, and then, we needed to have that match to test because, The
one I was always chasing between Devin and Dennis was right arm. That was the one I wanted to see. Yeah. Right arm. At that time, the right arm match was the one that I thought was the one to see. That was it. It's a shame that didn't happen.
when Andre passed just before the event, there was a lot of speculation that Devon may pull Sablikov right that night as well. Didn't transpire, but I think it almost did. I think it was close.
Yeah, they figured that it's better that day. It wouldn't look good, to make that match.
No.
But we were driving there, and I'm like thinking maybe they will pull, and that would be awesome. But yeah,
I think the right decision was made. I don't think it would have been a good. Yeah. I don't think it was. It would have detracted from something far, far, far more important and more significant. So it was the right decision to do what they did. Yeah. And it was interesting that people always talk about, who's the man at any given time? And Engin put something out the other day. So, if Dave Chaffee beats Levan, does Michael Todd then need to beat Dave again? And it's like, some of me feels like, I don't see the two are linked at all. I just don't see a link.
No.
For me, it makes no difference whatsoever. You'd still need to see Michael Todd pull Levan, regardless of what happens with Dave. If Dave Chaffee beats the shit out of Levan, I don't think he will, but if he did, that's got no bearing whatsoever on how the match with Michael Todd and Levan goes. If Levan destroys Dave Chaffee, that's got no bearing on how a match between Michael Todd and Levan will go. Because the styles of the men are so dissimilar. It's just a completely different thing. Completely different. And it does, I shouldn't get wound up by that, but it does wind me up a little bit that people focus on that. They think, it's the two are intrinsically linked.
This guy beat this guy, this guy beat this guy. No.
It just doesn't work like that at all. Yeah. It's it's not even close. But I also think that there's some interesting tests out there stylistically for a few of those guys. I still think Jerry Cadorette is underrated by a lot of people. Yeah. Based on a showing that he had at Nemiroff Cup years ago.
Yeah. Who do you see other than Michael? Who could Jerry potentially beat? That's right up there.
Who could he potentially beat? He could potentially beat anyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. He's got an awkward as hell style. Really awkward.
Could he be in a match with Levan? Realistically, I couldn't see that match.
Why not?
Sure he's up to a match, but I don't think he'd have much chance. But I do see him having a chance against Lachlan, for instance.
I think he's got a chance against anyone. On his day, Jerry is the guy that, to be fair to Jerry, there's evidence of Jerry being, Jerry is, by his own admission, distracted. Jerry is, by his own admission, not 100% focused. He's not Levan. He's not 110% focused on arm wrestling, as the be-all and end-all in his life. He just isn't that guy. He's got distractions, family, work, other things. But when Jerry really, really shows up, Jerry's very, very serious. He's not to be underestimated at all. Jerry's a bad man. Now, there are some stylistic clashes for Jerry that he's struggled with, and I think that if you were saying to me, where would the money be, I would personally be betting on Levan. I believe Levan would beat Jerry. I may be wrong.
If that match ever was to happen and Levan was depressed, if Jerry was to press Levan, man, that'd...
It's not beyond the wit of man, mate. Well, funny enough, it wouldn't. I wouldn't be one of those guys. My mind wouldn't be blown by that at all. If that happened, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I can see how that happens. I can see how that happens with Vitaly Lalatin. The other thing that I'm going to go on a minor rant about here is the whole thing that just because Levan has beaten Vitaly Lalatin once, that match is no longer relevant, and we know that because that is not the case. That first round match was £5, £10 of pressure difference, and if that wrist had have folded back, that would have been an extremely different match.
And I think Vitaly is working on it all the time right now. I think that's the only thing he's focusing on. He doesn't care about any other matches. He's like, I'm going to make this even better. I'm 100% sure of that. 100% sure.
I think there's definitely relevant matches there. You know, I don't think Lavani's a million miles away and can't be beaten. It may be that he's improving at a faster rate than anyone else and will pull away. Certainly listening to him the other day and him saying he doesn't want to lose a round. The guy's obviously extremely focused. He's a very intelligent man. He's extremely dedicated and he's got the tools for the trade. The man's committed to what he's doing. So why doubt him? He may be the man for some time and he may be the man now. But I don't believe that it's as clear cut as people believe out there. I think there's a lot of people that are new to the sport and maybe don't have as much of a depth of understanding of the sport that probably don't perceive some of the risks and some of the deep water that's out there for these guys. Once you get to a certain level in arm wrestling, it's definitely not as clean cut as you think. Not as clear cut at all.
I want to say about Jerry. I think, a lot of people are underestimating him, but from basically what I have seen in the past matchups, for him, like the biggest threats are super like heavyweight hook pullers. That would be the big threat because we saw that Devon could hook him, and go and hook. Top rollers with good side pressure, like Trubin. Trubin, I think, wouldn't be a good matchup because good hand and good side pressure. Vitaly falls on the other hand. If he couldn't take the side pressure, he would stay very low and very hard to fight out. And I think a lot of people are underestimating him because they really think that he would just fall down. But when you don't have that side pressure to counterattack, he's doing all that top roll and hand control doesn't really, won't help you. And I think he has some good matchups and some terrible matchups for him, for his style. But we want to see more. I want to see Jerry. I want to see some other matches than him pulling Michael. Because Michael is like, straight away, that guy. Michael has good top roll. He stays here. But he cannot, no side pressure because of his King's move. And he stays here. And he cannot get the hand over. So he's trapped in that spot. And that makes, I think, better matchup for Jerry than it is for Todd in that match.
Similarly, people link the result with Todd. If, Michael and Jerry have an absolute screamer, everybody thinks, okay, well, the outcome of that reflects on the other series and sequence of matches. Again, utterly no, not at all.
Yeah. I would say right now we have 95% at least new fans. The fans that don't know.
Which is great, isn't it?
Which is great.
I love them all.
And this is why we are telling these stories to educate you, to show you that not just because you've seen 20 videos of this guy arm wrestling, he's the best in the world. He has to beat the best guys to be the best in the world. And just because this match happened like that, there's a story behind it. There's differences. There are differences in style. This is there's always are the guys that will beat. Like I will beat him. That guy will beat that guy, and that guy will beat me. There's always going to be
on a Sunday, on the Thursday, on the Wednesday, on the Tuesday as well. Something happened. We didn't sleep great. We flew to the other side of the world. It's all a melting pot, and little things make big differences.
This has come full circle back to me thinking Lachlan beats Todd.
The styles make matches thing is very, very, very real. Yeah. I just think that the strength gap has to be really close. It has to be close, or there has to be some acid move. That's what I'm basing that on. And hey, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. Could it be wrong? Maybe. I'm
let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's get those guys on the table and figure it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this episode of The Fix. If you like what we do, please like, share, subscribe, have it tattooed, let everybody know. I'll be back with these two mother fluffers on the next one very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. We hope your family stays safe. And until that time, take it easy, peeps.